The second annual Charleston Trucking Expo is rolling back to Chucktown. Join us Saturday, September 16th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Ladson Exchange Park to get the latest info and resources about the industry that keeps the world moving. There will be industry speakers, local vendors, raffle giveaways, CDL scholarships, a truck show, a food truck park, kids zone, and so much more. Bring the whole family. Kids are free. The second annual Charleston Trucking Expo, Saturday, September 16th.
It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, it's showtime. What's happening, everybody? The Geno Jones Show. You got it. You can read the sign. You can see Geno with an E. I come to you live Monday through Friday. 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. out in Los Angeles or on the West Coast. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Now, I'm pausing because I'm really happy. So, the beginning of October, the Geno Jones Show would have been live on the air here on YouTube, Monday through Friday, 3 years. And I started off with like 0 subscribers. As a matter of fact, probably the early days of the show, the only person that was watching the show is my mother, who's watching me right now. The show's now become one of the fastest growing shows on YouTube. I am about 15 new subscribers away from becoming a YouTube partner. Now, if you're not really deep into the YouTube culture, you're saying, okay, Geno, that's great. What does that mean? Talk to me exactly. You're in the barbershop watching me right now, or in the hair salon, or maybe you're sitting at your gate at the airport, or maybe in your sports bar or your bar and grill, and you got me on your big screen TVs, or you're watching me at home or on your smartphone or your tablet. That means becoming a YouTube partner, I'll begin to get a check. I'll start getting a check from YouTube. That's right, I'll secure that YouTube bag. And the more you watch, and the longer you watch, and the more subscribers that you help me get, the more money my company, Geno Media, will be able to get, which means I'll be able to hire some folks, actually have a staff, give some upcoming young brothers and sisters and everybody a chance. But I am and I've said it so many times, I'm anti-racist and white nationalist and anti-hate, all these anti-Semites and homophobes and transphobia and misogynists and sexists, all that. Young people that watch me all the time, you all know how I get down. But I am unapologetically pro-black because America has been anti-black for 404 years. At least here on this land that we are standing on right now. So anything that I can do to empower especially young brothers and sisters, but to give a young person because this whole race thing, like I said, if you watch the show, you know, but if you haven't, this whole race thing is just some made up bullshit. It's called what they call a construct, like a system, a structure that was created for a small handful of people to have economic, political, and social power, but that's not the energy and the vibe of the show. But I'm just sharing that because I am all about empowering our culture, black-owned businesses, black media, you name it. Because when black Americans do well, everybody, or as Nelly would say, everybody else does great. When we do well, if we did great, because trust me, if great can somehow, when it trickles down to us, through all the filters of racism and hate and systemic racism and institutional racism and racism codified in law and legislation, everybody will do great when we do. Even when we do good, everybody else is doing great. So that's what the Geno Jones Show is all about. Because I got a lot of new viewers, so I just wanted to give you a feel. But we have fun also, because I've been doing this thing on TV, radio, stand-up motivational speaker for a while. So I bring all this, it's like Now, I don't eat gumbo. I'm not from New Orleans, but, you know, you put all that in the pot, and that's how we get down. So let me start off. Let me shout out a black-owned business man for doing the right thing. Shout out to Sean Diddy Love. I don't know what the hell. You know, he'll probably go by a different name in about 15 minutes. So I don't know what he's calling himself today. But Diddy, shout out for doing the right thing. So Diddy gave the publishing rights from the music that Faith Evans did, that Mace did, that the group 112 did, the estate of the notorious B.I.G., my man Biggie, Biggie's mom, Mrs. Wallace, Valletta Wallace. I know she's, you know, she runs the estate. I'm pretty confident. I know she does. So what does that mean? So Diddy gave the publishing rights. So when you have publishing rights, that means that anytime somebody wants to play your song, if they want to use a sample of your song, they want to redo it, you own the publishing. So that means songwriters, that's why songwriters, you never hear of a songwriter that ever goes broke. You heard of a lot of artists, a lot of superstar recording artists, especially back in the day, that died broke and penniless. But the record company was wealthy because they owned the publishing rights. Because those publishing rights can outlive you. Paul McCartney got mad at Michael Jackson because Michael Jackson bought his publishing catalog back in the day. But Paul McCartney was the one that put Michael up on game. And Michael said, okay, bet, I'm going to do that. How about that? You put me up on game. I want to buy your catalog. And Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson fell out. I digress. Real quick, because I want to have more time for my guests. Happy birthday today, Foxy Brown, 45. Actress Anika Noni Rose. She won a Tony Award for the Broadway play, Caroline. And you've seen her in the movie. She's an actress too. So she was in the Dreamgirls movie, not the original one with my man Philip Michael Thomas and Irene Cara, rest in peace and power, but the one with Beyonce. Anika Noni Rose, and she was also in For Colored Girls, that movie. Anika Noni Rose is 51. Now, he was a singer, an R&B singer, who's an actress, who was also in the movie For Colored Girls. But I loved her when she was in Training Day. She was a straight G. She was like the drug kingpin, the hood. She was the hood kingpin. I'm talking about Macy Gray. Macy Gray is 54 today. And ladies, one of your baby daddies, because y'all all tell me, oh, that's my baby daddy. And y'all ain't never met the man. He got a wife, but he your baby daddy. And I ain't talking about Maxwell this time. He's one. But if you are a fan, if you were like an old school fan from the early 2000s of a show called The Wire, which, full confession, I wasn't really rocking with The Wire. I didn't really get into The Wire till it damn near went off. Stringer Bell. That's right, ladies. Your baby daddy, Stringer Bell, a.k.a. Idris Elba, is 51 today. Happy birthday to all those Virgos out there. Now, speaking of game, I shouted out Deion Sandres, Coach Prime, Coach Sanders out there, the University of Colorado. So listen, he is like the talk. Even people who don't like sports are talking about Deion Sanders. Short version. So Deion, Hall of Fame, NFL player. I could make an argument, the greatest cornerback ever. I would make an argument for Rod Woodson right there with him, but nobody would question Deion Sanders, greatest cornerback in most people's eyes in the NFL. He's been coaching young men for a while. He retired. He was coaching young men like high school, even earlier than that. He was coaching at Jackson State the last 2 years in HBCU. Really turned that program around. Everybody was excited because it was like there was a time when all the great black athletes could only go to HBCUs. Because these white universities, or they call them PWI, primary white institutions, they didn't want no parts of no black folks. They didn't want you N-words there. And what changed it was back, I think around in 1968, my guests will co-sign, University of Southern California, where I had a chance. I was supposed to, well, that's a whole different story. But we talking about whole different story. Never mind. Don't matter. But it wasn't for football. So USC, way back in the day, Southern Cal, played Alabama. This is way before Nick Saban. And Alabama didn't have no brothers. And these brothers on Southern California, they beat the brakes off Alabama so bad to where even the racists went to the head coach and said, you got to get some of them N-words on the team, damn it. We got our ass kicked. That's the only reason, especially in the South, all these SEC schools, all these schools, they weren't messing with black folks. Now that's all they want. So I've been an advocate. Listen, let's send our kids back to these HBCU'S. It's about ownership, stepping into our power. I digress. So, because I got some guests who got receipts. Both of my guests, they have been coaching young men on many levels. They have trained and are training 5-star athletes in football and other sports. One of my guests, I had a couple tryouts in the NFL, defensive coach, and another one, full disclosure, you've seen him on the show. So ladies and gentlemen, without any further delay, I'm honored to bring on the camera my brother Kevin Washington and Mr. Chris Matthews. Looking like a head coach down there. He got that serious look at it. He got that serious old school look. Like he about to make somebody do some suicides.
I got the whistle. I got the whistle already. I'm impressed with my little boy.
He's ready, Kevin. He's ready, man.
Enjoy that sun out there.
So we had a conversation off camera. So there's been so much talk about what Deion Sandres and his son, both of his sons, because his son, Shador, is the starting quarterback who balled, who actually did something against a primary white university, who, by the way, was in the national championship game, even though they lost. And this school that had a whole bunch of kids that was playing at a HBCU last year, who are now starting, went into suburban Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, and played a team, TCU, that was supposed to be, the experts said that they were supposed to beat the brakes of Colorado, who only won one game last year, 1-11, and they were 20-point underdogs. That meant that the experts said that they were supposed to lose, they being Colorado, Deion's team, by 20 points. But Deion and Shador and this kid Travis Hunter and this other kid Walker and this other kid Horn, and they didn't get the message because they was like, damn that. So there's been so much talk about it. There'd been a lot of controversy about Deion leaving Jackson State. A lot of people were excited about it, saying that now maybe we can finally, get our sons and daughters, 5-star sons and daughters, to go to these historically black colleges and universities, because, like I said, there was a time that was the only place they could go. So we've got power. Why do we give it away to people that don't really give a damn about us? So there's so many angles, but I got you two brothers on, and you guys got the receipts. You've played at the highest level in college. You've had trials in the NFLs. You've been coaching young men, coordinators, and everything for a while. So since Kevin is our new guest family, Chris, since you are a regular of the show, you're part of the Geno Jones Show family. Kevin is now. I want to get your take on everything, the buzz with Deion, and do you think it can be a benefit to HBCUs or not? What's your take on it, Kevin?
It's confusing, right? So I've kind of like looked at this thing two different ways. When the news first popped, initially I was disappointed. I'm an HBCU guy, support HBCU.
Shout out your school. Where? What school?
Representing Benedict College.
Okay.
BC.
And so just because of that, I was disappointed. And then as I kind of saw the things develop, other kids get an opportunity to, transfer, to other schools. Some of the kids that was on Jackson State team from last year, they're other HBCUs and they're doing well. And Jackson State has also had other kids from HBCUs to transfer into Jackson State, who's doing very well right now. So the opportunity is kind of being recycled. I know that I know a lot of people want to jump on the Prime bandwagon and, and say, well, this whole movement can be started at another school. It can, but it'd be different. Because I do think that there's only one prime time. But, for the people out there who's like, I feel like is disappointed in his exit from Jackson State, you have to look at it from perspective that you got to have somebody at the table to understand the business and learn the business and learn the game. And for me, if I had to appoint somebody to put at the table to say who's going to go to the table and soak up game and then just not be instructed to what to do, it will be him. So I think HBCUs kind of benefited initially from getting some attention. I think the real attention and the real benefit of Deion going the route that he went, you probably won't see that benefit for about 5 to 10 years down the road as he soak up the game on a Division I level that he can transfer out. But it's just about how many people, at the HBCUs, whether it be coaches, athletic directors, school administrators, how many are humble enough to pick up the phone and have a real conversation with Deion? Or can they even pick up the phone? Because Deion keeps receipts too. So if you've been saying all the stuff out in the community, in the world, he remember that. So you might have just closed yourself off on the opportunity of getting information. And I'm a firm believer that information changes situation, but somebody got to be at the table. We might have created all the products, but we ain't created the game. They took our products and they got the game. Somebody got to learn the game, and it has to be the right person.
So well, finish your thought, because I want to get Coach Matthews Kevin.
No, that's where I stand with it. Yeah.
I want to kind of piggyback. As a matter of fact, like I said, we kind of talked. We had like an informal pre-show production meeting. So Deion is not the only Hall of Famer that's coaching at some level. Deion is not the only Hall of Famer that probably could coach and maybe doesn't have coaching experience. But I know there's some other and then there's some other brothers who are not Hall of Famers, maybe played in the league, maybe didn't play in the league, maybe had a great college career. I challenged you guys. I really wasn't a challenge. I asked the question. I said, when we think of like the greatest, how many Hall of Fame players have become great coaches, really in any sport? But we could just start at football. How many great Hall of Fame, all-time great players have become great coaches?
I have to go on Google and find out.
Yeah, not a lot. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and NFL. I mean, so all right, let's have this thought experiment. When I think of the great, like I said, I'm a fan of Bill Walsh, but of course Belichick, everybody's got him like at the top, and so you could say, Walsh, Belichick, Walsh, Parcells. Some folks would say Shula. Some would say, and I thought about him earlier. Those are off the tip. I'm trying to think current. Now we got Andy Reid, but it was somebody else that I think I mentioned to you guys earlier. But those are like the names. When people think of like the all-time greats, you always hear Parcells. You'll always hear Belichick. Some folks, Jimmy Johnson's name will get thrown in there, even though he didn't have the longest career in an NFL. Now, shout out to Ed Robinson. We're talking about HBCU'S, who should have been and would have been a great NFL coach because he sent so many Hall of Famers to the NFL. But the point I'm trying to make is that there are a lot of talented brothers, coordinators, assistants, coaches working with young people. I'm looking at, there are 3 black men on this screen, and 2 of them got the skills to definitely be coaching at a high level at a D1 school at least. So my point is, there are a whole lot of, Belichick wasn't no great athlete. Walsh wasn't no great. Hell, he wasn't. He was a professor. I don't think he even played football. I don't think he even caught a football on Thanksgiving when the family go out in the backyard and play. So it's just a matter of these brothers getting a chance. So I guess the question in all that is, I'll ask the question, but the question is really, it's a hope in the form of a question. Might maybe even HBCUs look around and be like, okay, you know what? Let's, to kind of piggyback on what you were saying, Kevin, let's reach out to some of these brothers, see if they have an interest in coaching, see if they have been, been coaching. Because Deion, like, he was coaching, Coach Matthews, he was coaching like kids in high school, right?
Man, Deion started with his own academy. He coached from Pop Warner all the way up.
Thank you.
So like with a lot of programs, they have like what we call a feeder system. But we don't have a feeder system for black coaches like that. We don't have a feeder system for ex, college players to you go to this high school, then this high school, you go to this college. We don't have it in place yet. I mean, I think it's going to that route, but as of right now, we don't have it in place right now. So a lot of good black coaches, they get overlooked. They only get the opportunities. And a lot of them come from like HBCU'S, we get passed out on for other, coaches or whatever names out there, but the guys that actually play at those schools, they don't get the first gives. So I feel like that's some of the issues.
So why is that? Why is that, Chris?
I think it's just the feeder system. We don't have that in place. My opinion, I think a lot of like these Power 5 schools, they get a lot of these coaches that come from like undergrads. They'll play for like, let's say, an Alabama player. He might don't make the NFL roster or whatever. He becomes an assistant coach, whatever, assistant grad. Before you know it, in 6 years, he's an offense coordinator. You get what I'm saying? Of Alabama. That's how they do it. Or he goes to another PWI and he's like a coordinator. We don't have that stuff. We don't have those programs in place for HBCUs, especially minorities. We don't have those in place at all. So, and a lot of times it has to do with funding. HBCU coaches don't get paid like the Power 5 coaches get paid. And,
Right.
I don't know for sure Deion was taking money out of his pocket to pay his coaches down in Jackson State. And I think we failed the point of like really take care of our own first before we started going to somebody else's house, worrying about how they're living. Let's take care of our home first. And I think HBCUs has been dropping the ball with that for years. Deion has actually opened up the playbook. He gave us a blueprint. This is what we need to do. This is how we get the revenue in. This is how we generate the money. The high school kids got to understand when they're younger, like middle school age. We got to get them exposure at middle school, elementary school age, going to HBCU tours versus going to University of Clemson and I just say USC because we got a South Carolina guy on the mic right now, but they don't get those experiences. Like we don't see many kids like elementary school, middle school age kids going to HBCU camps. They don't do it. But if you go to Clemson, they got 300 some kids, 400 some kids, maybe 4 or 5 different sessions, and they going up there and they packing the stands and they give them a free T-shirt and the bag and send them on their way. But those kids in the back of their mind are saying, "Man, I want to come here when I get older." And I think that we just dropped the ball with that, man. Go, Kevin. I know you can relate on that, Kevin.
So I did. So let me. And Kevin, you went to HBCU. So I want to pose a scenario, and then Kevin, since you went to HBCU, I want you to kind of piggyback and tell me and tell us, as a culture and as a community, what we can do to support, to help coaches, like yourselves, get opportunity. Because this is the scenario. I'm saying, all right, everybody watching now. Like I said, the two brothers whose not name is on the show are super talented, working with youth, got a coaching resume, got great receipts. So how can the culture and the community come together and say, listen, my son is a 5-star and I got this school and that school and I got these PWIs reach. Why can't a group of us just say, you know what, we're going to be intentional? Kind of like the way the Fab Five were back in the 90s. Right. For those who don't know, they were 5 of the top high school basketball players. Went to the University of Michigan. Chris Webber, my man, Juwan Howard from Chicago, Jalen Rose, who was from Detroit, like Chris Webber, Jimmy King, and Ray Jackson. So, and just like, now, yeah, Deion has got the star power, but Deion took a bunch of kids with him. So why can't we be intentional if we got kids playing Pop Warner or playing in leagues, young men that you all coach? Why can't we collectively as a culture say, no, you know what? We know all of our sons, Georgia wants them, and Alabama, damn Kirby Smart, damn Nick Saban. You going to go play with Kevin Washington. You going to play with Chris Matthews. Why can't we do that?
We can do that. I think the issue as to why that hasn't been happening is we always late to the ball game in terms of identifying the talent, right? So you want to identify the talent, celebrate the talent, and you want to attract the talent. Those are things, sometimes the lack of resources when it comes to, the recruiting coordinators, what they have in their budget. You get a guy who's young on the younger side of coaching. He has a family, and everybody's a competitor. You want to win, and then you find yourself in a situation where you gotta, you're paying for gas money to drive to Fayetteville, North Carolina, to recruit a kid out of your own pocket, okay. Right? But the coaching world, your job is evaluated based on execution, right? And then we don't, so really a whole lot comes down to money, just point blank. Yep. But I think we don't have a lot to promise kids, right? So I'm gonna call out 2 kids' names, right? And so if all your viewers can just jump on right now and just saying, I know exactly who you're talking about. And no one's gonna know these 2 kids. So Emmanuel Wilson and Shaquille Davis. Now, you probably go 0 forever for the viewers who don't know those 2 names, right? So Emmanuel Wilson was a kid I worked with here in Charlotte. He's a running back. He led the NFL in rushing this preseason, and he made the Green Bay Packers squad. Wow. Okay. Yep. We got Shaquille Davis, which is a wide receiver from South Carolina State. He made the team with the New Orleans Saints. Right. Now, why isn't that all over the HBCU world? Why is like every person went to the HBCU not saying, y'all heard about that Emmanuel Wilson kid? Okay. Right. So that's a part of the long-term promise. Right. So now even me living in Charlotte, it was mentioned on the news briefly, but it's not on every single corner.
I got you.
But if that kid was a long shot to make the roster and he came from Chapel Hill, it would be on multiple media outlets, right? But, one, like how you're saying, click on the subscribers, what I'm saying? When you are engaging in these different topics and stuff like that, getting our community to really get behind the people who are out there, doing it the right way. Now, those individuals are set to become contributors. You know what I'm saying? You running a whole media outlet, this could be an outlet to where, all the kids who are going into the NFL, going into the XFL, going into the CFL, like, well, if you want to find out where everybody's at, log in on the show, you know what I'm saying? So we just have to just do more to celebrate our players and their accomplishments. You have guys, and Chris to tell you, you have a whole bunch of guys like, I didn't know he was in, you was in camp with, this, that, and other. You played 3 years here and there. It's untold stories.
Well, we're going to tell them here. I'm glad you told me that. So now that's on me, because we talked about ownership on so many levels and keeping our own talent, our own sons and daughters, our own resources. Let's build up our own institution. So we got about 3 minutes, so I'm going to give each one of you guys 90 seconds. You got 90 seconds. If you did an elevator pitch with the HBCUs, what's like the one or 2 things that they need to be doing, and what's the one thing or maybe 2 things that we as a culture and a community can do to support you and to support these HBCUs, or to help light a fire under their ass, especially if we didn't go there, because they may not listen. But I was saying off camera, there are a lot of folks who didn't go to a HBCU who I got love for HBCUs. I got love for the Divine Nine. And trust me, once this tuition bill is paid for my daughter's senior in college, I might have a few coins to throw their way. So, Chris, you want to start off? 90 seconds. Give us a recipe for the HBCUs and for us as a culture and community.
I think, like K-Dub said, man, it all starts off with the budget, with the finance. Man, make these HBCUs more affordable. You make them more affordable, then take some of that money back and invest into your own program. Invest into the weight room. Invest into the meal table. Invest into the tutoring, 24-hour tutoring. Invest into this to make an overall better athlete. That way you're gonna attract those 5-star, 4-star athletes. When they see by their eyes, they see it. A lot of these kids, they only gonna go by what they see. You can have a good coach staff, all that good program, but if it don't look like it's that, they ain't gonna waste their time with it. So I think invest financially first would be the big thing.
And what can we do? What can the culture do to support brothers like yourselves and to help get opportunities? Do we need to call and email these ADs, athletic directors, or presidents?
Man, I think they need to just, go to the door, knock the door down, explain to them how important it is to get that exposure. It's all about exposure, man. The money's going to come where the exposure is at. That's my personal opinion on it. It's all about exposure. As soon as you get that exposure with the kids, the money's going to come. The kids going to come. The 4 or 5-star kids going to come. The money's going to follow.
Kevin, I got about 60 seconds, so the floor is all yours, man. Give us the recipe you went to and played at HBCU.
Get yourself a quality president of the university. Start with that first, right? If you want to find a good model, not just because it's my school, but Benedict College doing some amazing things. They hired a younger coach. I say that if you got people who've been in part of your program for the last 30, 40 years, it's probably to have a change put younger minds in place. Ones who not just going to say, well, we doing the best we can do because we HBCU. Got to get that spirit from out of the building and with minds that really, really, like Deion said, I believe, right? You believe that it could be different, it could be bigger, it could be stronger. And so at that point, then, the potential to grow is infinite.
Kevin, I promise you, and Chris knows this because I got about 30 seconds before I lose your live shot. We're going to have this conversation on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, hopefully if you guys got some time next week, I'd love to run it back so we can kind of expand on where we left off right here. And maybe you guys can bring some of these young people that need to get that shine in the spotlight so they got a platform here. So we're going to do that.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Sounds great, man.
I appreciate you, brothers. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
a
lot.
Thank you, Geno.
All right. They'll be back on the show, guys. I'm about to lose their live shot, but they will be back. I promise you. We will have this conversation on a regular basis. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you and you and you and especially you. And God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show live Monday through Friday. And shout out to everybody that's watching me live right now. Let me just, Groove Master Dre. Of course, shout out to my number one. I'm just moving my screen over here. There we go. There we go. Thank you. My number one fan, my mother, Mary Dixon. I love you, mother. I'll talk to you later. My man, Groove Master Dre. Hello, Penelope Cooper. Thank you for watching. So, Dre and Penelope, make sure y'all copy and paste and share and tag this episode and send it to everybody. And check out last night's episode. It was absolutely fire. Let's check that one. I want to thank Chris Matthews, Kevin Washington, my guest. Both are coached. They played Division I college ball. Kevin had a couple tryouts in the NFL. They played like Arena League football. They've been coaching, coordinators. They have academies working with the young athletes, 5-star athletes, 4-star athletes. So we're going to have this conversation because, we don't have to beg anybody. These PWIs, primary white institutions, they're not doing us a favor. They're not being benevolent. Or we let out the goodness of our heart. Oh, we feel bad for your aunts. No. These kids have earned it. You think folks in Alabama, in a state that supported Orange Hitler, he won that state, I think, by 40 percentage points? With all the racism and white nationalists and MAGA cult members in Alabama and in Georgia, because once you get outside of Metro Atlanta, you are in the South, and you will see all the Confederate flags. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, you got Atlanta, like Black Mecca. You got Augusta, and you got Savannah, but the rest of it is straight redneck MAGA country. And you can say that for Louisiana, for Texas, for Mississippi, for Arkansas. We ain't got to talk about Florida, okay? We already know what time Florida is. So, well, really, let's build up our own institutions. But let's find out what those institutions need to do, and let's find out what we need to do just to build our own institutions, our own businesses, create and build our own media platforms. So when these young men like Kevin Washington was saying, these young men who've got an incredible story to tell, and ESPN doesn't see the value in telling their story, they have platforms like mine where they can come and share their story. So that's how we gonna do that. That's how we gonna get down, y'all. See, that's why ownership is important, especially owning media, y'all. That's a whole different conversation. Because this media thing, I've been in it all my career. I've been in it for going on over 3.5 decades now. It is powerful. It's a reason why it was so hard for people to buy radio and TV stations. You didn't have a lot of black-owned radio. It's still hard to get. Hell, you don't have any major black-owned TV network. Tyler Perry decided not to even buy BET. Now he's got 20% share at BET Plus, their online platform, which is smart because that's really going to be the future. That's a different conversation. So I just want to thank everybody for watching me live and send this episode out to everybody. Or like I said, my man Nelly would say, everybody. God bless each and every one of you. Watch me live Monday through Friday. Subscribe, share, screen grab, like, and binge watch all my back episodes. I am less than 15 new subscribers from becoming that YouTube partner. That means I'm less than 15 subscribers before YouTube will say, I think we're gonna have a conversation about you being a partner, us running some ads, and you getting a check from YouTube. I appreciate the support. One of the fastest growing shows on YouTube. We're going to be celebrating our 3rd year. Man, I can't believe it. I've been doing this show for 3 years. Yes. The end of September, beginning of October officially will mark the 3rd year anniversary. So I'm working on planning something real big for that week. So tomorrow, my guest, brother named Shazam Connor. So if you were a fan of H-Town back in the day, Knocking the Boots, Dino, Shazam, I forgot the other brother's name. One of them passed away, rest in power. So Shazam of H-Town got a brand new strong, 2 words came out at the same time. Brand new song called Strokey Doke. That's all I'm going to say, because my mother's watching. I'm going to let Shazam tell you all about his new song, Strokey Doke. Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. CEO of Designer Cuts here in the Charleston, South Carolina Metro. Check him out. Kel be Cutting Up on Instagram. KELBECUTTINUP. Allie Jones is the drip director. Bam! The official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show, along with Mr. Bruce Gage, Mario Uomo. Check Allie Jones and her collection, her crochet collection, and her other fashions, her other drip, her other designs, her LX.NCL collection. That's L like Lexi, X like extra, dot N like Nanette, C like Charlie, L like Lexi, and then underscore is that little at the end of that last L, lx.ncl, that last L, down at the bottom, off to the right, there's like a little dash. They call it underscore, lx.ncl underscore dash at the bottom to the right of the last L. And Bruce Gage, check out his signature collection, the Mario Uomo collection, the Flyball collection, and more. Miglio di Mario Uomo. MIGLIODIMARIOUOMO. That's MIGLIOMARIOUOMO. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you to my new subscribers. Thank you to my subscribers that's been down with me from day one. Like Heavy D said, I got nothing but love for you, baby. I got nothing but love for you, honey. For each and every one of you. Once again, thank you to Kevin Washington, Chris Matthews. They are my sports contributors. Pro, college on every level, pro in college and high school. When it comes to sports here in America, you'll be seeing regular contributions from both of those brothers. So I appreciate them coming on. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be live Thursday with my special guest, Shazam Connor of H-Town, with his new strong new song called Strokey Doke. Have a great evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you're watching me. If you're watching me live right now, thank you for watching me live. If you're watching me right now and I'm not live, but you're watching me, I'm live to you whenever you're watching. Thank you for watching, and we will see you live. And make sure you subscribe, because when you subscribe to the Geno Jones Show, when I am live, you will get a notification, an email notification. That little red button will say the Geno Jones Show is live and in living color, and just tap or click on that button. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching so much. I love you as always. Be blessed. Pray for peace. And until Thursday, live, 6:30 p.m., go back and binge watch the rest of this episode. If you missed some of it, definitely go back and binge watch last night's episode. Must see TV, and I must see you with me Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Ow!
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.
The second annual Charleston Trucking Expo is rolling back to Chucktown. Join us Saturday, September 16th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Ladson Exchange Park to get the latest info and resources about the industry that keeps the world moving. There will be industry speakers, local vendors, raffle giveaways, CDL scholarships, a truck show, a food truck park, kids zone, and so much more. Bring the whole family. Kids are free. The second annual Charleston Trucking Expo, Saturday, September 16th.